Hello everyone, I'm David Gawley. I'm a member of the Digital and Asset Integration team here at Pentagon Solutions. And in this short video, we're going to have a look at Maintenance Connection and Maintenance Connection Express for mobile devices. Essentially, we're going to add in a service request to the system. For those of you who aren't aware, Maintenance Connection is a computerized maintenance management system, CMMS, and is an enterprise asset management system. It's for multi-sites or single sites. It can be used in multi-industry, such as buildings, mechanical, plant, infrastructure, and for utility assets. It can be in the cloud, it can be on-premise, and it integrates with document management systems such as Accruence Meridian. So, very first thing I'm going to do is start a service request. Again, this interface is totally configurable. It can be configured to the business websites as well. And you can see in here that I'm looking at Airport Road West at Pentagon Solutions. So I'm just going to simply drill down further. If you know the location of the asset, you've got different options you can actually go through. But if you don't know it, you can actually just do a drill down option, as I'm going to do in here. So I can drill down to the site, more site specifics, into the maintenance records, and then if I know what the asset itself is, and I can identify that particular asset. In this case, it's an air-cooled compressor, and it's got a bit of a leak around the bottom. So we can look up the list. Again, all these lists are fully configurable. So I'm going to say simply that it's got a leak, and just give a bit more description here. Leak around the base of the compressor. And if I have a photograph or an image, I can simply add the image on. Again, this could be done on a mobile device very easily. And I'm just going to save that, and that will upload into the system. It could be done on the iPad, this could be done just on a web desktop application, and multiple users can access the system as well, and also as permission based. So I'm simply going to submit that service request. That'll get submitted into the system, and an email notification will come through. So you can see the service request has gone through. I can print it off as the user, and I can also check my status at any stage as well on the actual list. So we're going to go into Maintenance Connection now, and we're going to have a look at our work order manager. So if we look at our work manager, we can see anything that's come through, and we can see immediately that this leak has actually come through into the system. So it's dated today, and it's priority on the list. So what we can actually do in here, we can see the different labor calendars as well, who it's been assigned to. This particular one hasn't actually been assigned to myself. So I'm going to go back into the work manager. I'm going to click on it and open it up. So we're going to view the work order itself. So we can see it's been issued to another user. We're actually going to change that in here. I'm going to say assign it to myself, and that's going to update that for myself. Again, I can look at the any details about the order in here. We can see we've already drilled down and put that in, and we've already got the location of the actual work order in question. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to go to site, and we're going to have a look at this from a mobile device perspective, and see how we can actually tackle that work order. Just before we do that, you can see that the email notifications come through as well. So the email notification does come through to the service requester. Okay, so let's go and have a look at this work order on site.
So I'm on site at the minute. I'm going to use the QR code that's actually on the bit of equipment to have a look and open up Maintenance Connection Express. I'm on an iPad Pro at the minute, so I'm just going to use my Face ID to actually go into Maintenance Connection Express, and I'm going to do this exact same for the password. So that'll log me into the system. That'll take me directly into the asset as well. I can have a look at all the asset information about that as well. And I'm just going to simply hit back and have a look at my current work orders and see what's been assigned to me. So you can see my open work orders at the top. I can click on this, and it's related to this asset. So we've got a leak around the base of the compressor that's actually being logged. So let's just click on that. So as I'm starting work on site, one of the first tasks I can actually do is start the timer. So I'm about to start the labor records because that'll record how long I'm actually on site. I'm just going to say yes. So we can have a look at any specific information in here, but again, this could take a bit of time for me to go through. That might need some bits to replace and have a look at. So I might have found one of the issues in here. I think I've got a leaky top valve, and I'm also going to replace one of the parts when I'm actually here. So I'm going to click on parts. And this is where we can actually add parts to the work order in here, so we can have a look and see what's actually in the stockroom, what we need to use for this particular part. So if I click on parts, it'll give me the list of active parts for this. So I've got a pump that I do want to replace as part of this. You can see that the information is coming up, the price, unit cost of it. And I'm just going to type some information about replacing this pump while I'm on site. So there might be some performance issues in here, so I might as well just replace this while I'm here. And again, we'll hit save in the bottom. So go back out and go back into my main work order area, and that part's been saved. So at this stage, we can add any notes into the system as well to let users know what's happening. So I could actually just say replacing parts, replacing the pump, and identifying the issue. So we can save this off as well, and we can continue working on the work order.
So as a user, if I want to check the status of my service request, I can actually click on it and just see the status and what it's at the minute. I can see it's actually been assigned, the assignment's been changed to David Gawley, and I know it's still being worked on. Meanwhile, back in Maintenance Connection, anyone back in the office environment, they can have a look at any of the associated costs and what the progress is actually happening. So we can see that a pump's been added, engineer still on site related to this particular service request.
So I've spent a bit of time working on this asset here. I've replaced the pump and I've also fixed the leak. So I just want to actually stop the timer now and actually give an update for progress. So I'm going to hit stop the timer. And we're going to do a progress report in this. Do you want to do a progress update? We're going to say yes. So you can see I've been working this for 24 minutes. So did a quick replace of the pump and fixed the leak. Tightened the valve at the top. So I'm just going to save that. It's now going to go to my progress of this work order. It's going to ask me about the status here. So I'm going to say that I'm 100% complete. I can give up any, I can now close the order off. It's worked out the labor cost, it's worked out the part costs in here. The problem was a leak. The solution, again, we can go into categories in here if we want. I might update the meter reading while I'm here. And again, the solution, we've got various categories of solutions that we can actually use, and these can be fully customized depending on your system or depending on what type of assets you're actually maintaining. So it might just be a case of repair in here that we'll actually add in. And again, all these fields are fully customizable as well. If there's any additional information I could add, I could add a photograph in this if I wanted against this, but I'm simply going to say I've completed it. I'm just going to do a quick signature in here and say that's completed and just hit save. So the work order is now closed off, as you can see, and that'll get updated on the service request back at the user's desktop.
So my work order is now complete. You can see it's closed. The date it was actually closed off as well. If I go into Maintenance Connection and if we do a refresh in here in this particular work order, what will actually happen is under the costs, the labor costs will actually get captured in there, and any of the part information and any information that's actually assigned against that work order. So what we've seen, well, how we use Maintenance Connection, which is a CMMS and an enterprise asset management system, how you can actually add a work order through a service request, and how someone on site can access that information through Maintenance Connection Express. I'd like to say thanks very much for watching. Please click subscribe. You'll be kept up to date for any future videos. You can also follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Thanks for watching.